السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا. السلام عليكم. I hope you are enjoying those blessed days and nights and the time they spend with our families, beloved ones, connecting, bonding together. I know it's a tough time. Everything is impacted. Having said that, it's Allah will, and we are, inshallah, together, hanging up together. We're going to pass through this tough calamity and tough times. Having said that, our guests today haven't joined yet. We're still waiting for our guests to join. But let me give you like a hint on our guest till she joined. Before that, 2 weeks ago, our president announced an executive order that's impacting the immigration in one way. And actually, many community members reached out and said that, hey, how does this impact us? And we need lawyers. So we thought from our standpoint, why don't we interview a lawyer from our community and ask them the question on your behalf. Our guest, she will be joining us shortly, is attorney Ilham Soffan. She practices immigration law, criminal defense, and probate law. She's the daughter of Lebanese immigrant parents and personally familiar with the hardship, that's very important, of the immigration process can present after having seen what her parent had faced. In addition to her native language of English, this is a privilege, she speaks Arabic. So anyone who doesn't like speaks English, Ilham speaks Arabic as well. She graduated from MT Holloway College and attended UMass Law School, where she was the president of the Legal Associations of Women. She worked also for the Department of Justice, Rhode Island. She also has been featured on CNN and many other news shows. Her practice offers a full range of services, including but not limited to assisting clients with physician immigration, the J1 visas, business visas, H1B, L visas, fiancé marriage visas, asylum, and green card application. She's the perfect one to talk about this green card executive order. She has traveled numerous times to the Middle East, including Lebanon, Turkey, Dubai, Jordan, and her practice is affiliated with multiple immigration firms in Dubai and Jordan. Till she joined us, she's the guest. We'll be asking her about the stuff that we need to talk about today. Having said that, I was just thinking yesterday, ISBC was featured on WGBHR, and actually they were asking how the Muslims are celebrating Ramadan those days. And what's very impactful and very, I would say, powerful this year, although that we were deprived by Allah's will from praying at our beloved masajid at ISBCC, our beloved Imam, Muhammad Nabi, may Allah bless him. So I think we're now blessed of tasting some is praying in our homes, trying to open our mushaf and lead the prayer with our families, or even like pray by ourselves. I know it's not like the usual Ramadan that we wished to have. However, there's a beauty in everything that Allah decrees on us. And this year, the beauty is we're tasting something different. Maybe like we're not driving. Maybe that we have some time to reflect on the ayat. Maybe like we're not wasting many of the hours that we used to waste, and we have the time to even wake up before Fajr prayer and pray a couple of rak'at. So we started the tahajjud even before the last 10 days. Maybe multiple things that we need to look around and check, and hopefully that we find the bless of those days and nights, and hang tight till inshallah we will pass this tough time together. Having said that, let me check if I ask my team if the Ibrahim, Kareem, did we reach out to the guests, please? If they are available, can we guide her in? Can you let her screen? Oh, wow. Here's Ilham. Assalamu alaikum, Ilham. How are you?
Alaikum assalam. How are you?
Thank you for joining us. I know you're very busy, and for joining us. Ramadan Mubarak, Ramadan Kareem.
Excuse me?
I'm saying Ramadan Mubarak, Ramadan Kareem, Ilham.
Ramadan Mubarak.
Yeah. So, first of all, I introduced you right now, and I would like to ask you, do you speak Arabic? Like, if we have someone, احكي بالعربي.
بحكي عربي، بحكي لبناني.
طب hey, excellent. So this is like something that in the introduction, I told our community members that if they need help in Arabic even, this is the perfect place to go to your their practice. So Ilham, let's start by asking, 2 weeks ago, our president issued an executive order regarding immigration, one way impacting the green card application. And since this was issued, lots of panic happened. So can you give us like an overview? What is this executive order is all about?
Yes, absolutely. Well, generally speaking, this has affected immigrant visas, people who are overseas primarily, people who are not applying for immigrant visas. So basically, if you're overseas, you're in Lebanon or you're in Egypt, and you want to apply for a visa, a family-based visa, it's going to affect you. However, if you already have a visa in your passport and you're overseas, there's no issue of you coming to the U.S. If you're overseas on an H-1B and you already have the stamp in your passport, you're fine. But if you're actually waiting to get a stamp in your passport and you're overseas, then you're not going to be able to come to the U.S. So basically,
what are the options? What are the options for the people who are applying and are in administrative processing and being stuck outside? So what are the options they have right now? If someone
they have no options, they have to wait. I mean, this has been took effect on April 23rd. And it's in effect for the next 60 days. There's a possibility things can change. They really have to sit and wait, unfortunately. And generally speaking, most consulates are closed for 60 days. So even if there was an option, nothing really can be done. They're really only assisting people who on an emergency basis anyway, for those that are even eligible to come. So even emergency workers, people who are overseas or who are doctors and trying to come. It's more on an emergency-based people who are in reality are coming. There's nothing you can really do at this point. I mean, that's pretty much how it stands now. But the other exception are EB-5 investors, which I don't know if anyone's here on an EB-5 who are overseas. That won't affect them. That's an investor visa for $500,000.
Yeah. So let's
to simplify it, are people who are married to U.S. citizens abroad. Those people are not going to have an issue coming over.
Oh, so we'll tackle those types one by one. So in this executive order, what exactly changed? Is any new law, or do they put the already existing law on hold? What changed?
They just put the law on hold. The law hasn't changed. So basically, this is an emergency order because of COVID-19. They're putting all visas on hold. There's a chance that it can get modified within the next 60 days. But basically, it doesn't change the law. It's just an executive order that was put into place because of COVID-19. That's really it. It's nothing permanent.
Nothing permanent for 60 days. So like, we're hopeful that things will change after those 60 days. Fine. So now there's executive order, and this is for the green card application. Is it only for green card applicants, or does it impact any other immigrant visa?
It impacts everyone, other than the fact that you're married.
So dual intent visa, for example, the L1A, something like that. This is the dual intent business visa. So does this impact them as well?
Absolutely. If they're overseas and they don't have the approved visa, they can't come. I have a client, he's in Egypt, he's applying for an L1A. He's not going to be able to come. And right now, in his situation, he applied for a business visa, a visitor visa, a B1, B2. Generally speaking, they automatically grant it to him. This time, they're actually asking him for an interview that's been granted or scheduled for September. So even him, who's never even been asked ever, they've approved him because he has such an excellent history. They're even asking him to come in, and the soonest date that's available for him in Egypt is September. a September 2020 date. So
And this even
yeah,
like B1, B2, like this for
he's
tourists.
applying for a B1, B2 because it just expired for him. But if it was still effective, he could have come. Any approved visa, if you're abroad, you still can come. But if you're applying and waiting for a consular interview, that's where the issue lies. And even this executive order for those individuals, it does not affect. You can't get an interview for the next 60 days.
Hmm.
So in reality, it affects everybody if you don't have already an approved visa stamped in your passport.
Awesome. So like for me, this executive order, like either like it is an order or because of the COVID-19, the councils are closed. So it's both ways. It's like it's an action. It's an effect. Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you think like there'll be any intervention that will put this executive order on hold, or like now it is like in place and we have to abide by it?
Absolutely. Well, there are several attorneys that are suing the government, and it'll probably be heard very soon. But I don't think that's going to affect anything. But there are a lot of organizations, attorneys who are suing the government, which happens a lot. So, but I don't know if it'll change anything. But there is a change. Even the president said himself, there's a possibility this might change again. So even though he's planned for 60 days, there is a possibility it can change and go back to the way it was, which I doubt because of COVID-19. But there is that possibility. It's not standstill order and that's it, definitive, set in stone. There is a possibility that it will change, and I'm sure it'll be heard soon. But
Attorney Ilham, help me understand, is this because of the COVID-19, so that we don't want any more people to come into the country, or because of like the council are closed, or there is a rationale behind that we don't understand? Why is this is now?
it's it's happening now because they're looking to stop the spread of COVID-19.
Hmm.
That's really the point of this legislation.
Okay.
No other
So
reason.
let's fight COVID-19, no more people coming into the country. That's right.
Correct.
Okay. So people like who are renewing the visa now or have expired visa while are they staying in the country right now? Are they, the USIS is still like working? Can they do extensions? If like someone was an H-1B, can they apply on green card while they are in here in the country? Have you like the experience cases like that?
Yes. A lot of the government, I will say this, USCIS is granting a lot of extensions. It should not be a problem. I have a client here from Lebanon. His B1, B2 is expiring on May 5th. The government is basically handing out extensions to visitor visas.
Oh, this sounds great. At least like a relief so that they are not overstaying, so that it will not impact them or be like subject to bar or like not getting again into perfect. That's very good
Yes.
news.
The government is actually giving a lot of extensions. Even as an attorney, when they request further evidence, they're extending that for another 60 days. So the government is trying to work with you. However, you do have to take into consideration they're all working from home. So it's going to be a slower process.
Oh, so a slower process and granting extensions. So like right now, I'm telling like because like was a concern at some of our community members. If you are concerned about that, looks like there's some extensions that's happening right now. If you're and do they need a lawyer to file for them, or they can file for themselves?
No, they can do it per
They
se.
can,
They can do it themselves.
having said that, uh, can you give us like a permission to share like your contact in the comments so that if anyone would like to reach out to you, they can have easy access so that would like to consult you on part of the immigration process? Can they reach out to you?
Absolutely. I'll send you I think you have my business card. You can give them my contact information. That's my business cell line. I'm very accessible. And actually, a lot of people from the community have been contacting with questions. I'm more than happy to help.
Perfect. So back to the question, like for people like staying on H-1B or like any other like dual intent visa, can they apply for green card while they're staying in here?
Yes, the people in the country are safe. Like you can apply. This really generally affects people outside, and
Outside.
again, only the people outside. And there's exceptions to that, but people in the country are fine.
Ilham, I know that you do have some experience in asylum cases as well, and we do have some of the community members on asylum, and they haven't been granted an interview yet, but they do have a work permit. So, are they renewing the work permits now, or like?
Yes, they are. They're being very flexible about renewing the work permits, especially if people they've already done the biometrics, and sometimes they're renewing them without a biometrics interview because they realize people can't come in. The court systems are closed. Like even I, who had a bond hearing for a client this week, it's done telephonically. It's not even done in person. So yes, to answer your question, yes, they are renewing those as well, and they're very forgiving in that sense. They're not making an issue. They're very understanding.
Okay. And what about the interviews? Are they assigning interviews, or do they put things on hold for the asylum cases?
For the asylum cases, they're just putting it on hold. What's really just continuing in the court systems now until June 4th, like they just issued the extension until June 4th, I believe, is that they're only hearing people who are detained. People who are not detained, everything's being continued.
Okay.
So,
We do have a question from Nazia Ashraful. She says, Salam, thank you for hosting this, and apologies if you already addressed this. My question is, can a Canadian citizen who already have a valid visa, J1 visa, come back into the US if they travel to Canada?
I would definitely, generally speaking, my answer is yes, because they're a doctor and they're considered an emergency worker. I don't think, to answer Nazia's question, I don't think she'll have a problem. But if I were her, I would call the consulate to make sure it's okay with the Canadian consulate. The Canadian border is fine with it. However, I don't think she should have a problem because she's considered an emergency worker. J1 visas are usually physicians or medical researchers, and the country needs them. So she should have no problem with respect to the U.S. Canada is a different issue. But I still don't even think Canada will give her a problem.
Perfect.
She's considered an essential worker.
Awesome. Nazia, if you need to reach out to Ilham, like after this episode, please let us know, and the contacts will be down in the comments. Please feel free to reach out to her directly. And we have محمد سيد تتكلم عربية تحكي العربي إلهام بتحكي بالعربي يا أخي محمد.
لبناني.
لبناني. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته, and thank you. Ilham, thank you very much for being with us today. It's been a pleasure, and I really appreciate you being with us. And most likely we have some requests that comes to and will come to us as a community, and please allow us to direct them to you. We have a question. Muhammad has said that, how about the green card holders who are in Canada? Can they come back? And the answer,
they have U.S. green card holders. They should be able to come back. Yes, they should be able to come back.
because like this is not a visa. They already have a green card. They can go and come. That's right. It's not the example. Not
even employment visas, even TN visas. If you're in Canada, it's still an active visa. You can come back. So absolutely, absolutely.
So Muhammad, yes, the answer to your question is yes.
And I just want to add, with respect to the interviews, something came to my mind. I will say this: people who are in the U.S. who are having a green card interview pending, a lot of them have been approved. Again, this is not regarding asylum. This is general green cards. They're approving them without an interview if there's enough evidence in the application. So some are still being processed if there's enough evidence there without even an interview. So the government, USCIS, is actually doing that.
Awesome. That sounds great. This is very good news. So just before concluding this, I remind our audience that there is a smart zakat calculator on our website, isbc.org/zakat. Please, if you'd like to calculate your zakat, this is the place that would like to go so that you can know exactly. I know that in the previous years, we used to have scholars and imams, and you can ask them. Definitely in our next episode, we'll be having a scholar, one of our beloved imams, to come and speak about the zakat. Till then, please use the zakat calculator on the ISBCC website. Ilham, thank you very much for being with us. It's been a pleasure, and hope to see you soon. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, Ilham.
Bye.